G'day and welcome back to the Department of Selling Armament Research. Today we're going to be doing an overview on this here, which is my Steyr SSG 69 rifle. This is a rifle I wanted for a number of years, particularly after I found out they stopped actually manufacturing them. So, reaching out to my favourite dealer up in Townsville, I managed to get hold of one. And this is it here. Now, the Steyr SSG itself, obviously if you do a little bit of research, was designed as a sniper rifle for the Austrian military. In fact, it was one of the first purpose-built sniper rifles in the modern term, being a precision-built rifle for long-range engagement of high-value targets. So, long story short, there's some things about this rifle that are a little bit old by today's standards, but a lot of it was actually cutting edge at the time. The 69 in SSG 69, meaning that was when it entered service with the Austrian military. So, the model I have here is referred to as the PII, so P2K, K being short. The standard original P1s and the original SSG 69s themselves had longer barrels, green stocks, iron sights and butter handle bolt knobs. Obviously this is more modernised for the more police type utilisation or the modern tactical rifle. So what we're going to do here, run through some of the features of it, talk about how I've got this rifle set up itself, and tell you a little bit more about it as we go. Okay, so the nuts and bolts of the SSG 69 are basically the action itself, which was considered revolutionary for the time. Now, as you all know, I'm a Lee Enfield fiend. As a result, I have a great love of rear locking actions, of which the SSG actually is. Yes, a purpose-built sniping rifle with a rear locking action. The SSG 69 has 6 rear locking lugs, okay, plunger type ejector, and not a badly sized extractor itself. Rear locking lugs allow for a very short 60-degree bolt throw, allowing you to have not only a faster cycle with less disturbance to your position, a faster follow-up shot, but also allows you to mount optics rather low, as is demonstrated on this particular setup I have here. The action itself is a cock on opening design and feeds from one of the other unique aspects of the SSG 69 itself, being these detachable box magazines. These are a little bit unique and horrifically expensive as they are a helical type design. Single feed, however, the cartridges, which I have a 7.62 dummy here, which is the caliber, feed around. To release the magazine, it has these little pinch tabs, which apparently have a habit of breaking at the most inconvenient time. They did also produce a 10-round box magazine, which I'm not sure will actually sort of service. However, they are available for even 2 to 3 times the price of one of these. The trigger on the SSG 69 is completely adjustable for release pressure. I have this one set at about just under 3 pounds, that's where I like them, and it has a little bit of take up, giving the impression of a 2-stage brake, but there's a single stage trigger. The other aspect that a rear locking action allows is quite a lot of strength in the receiver, as denoted by this rather small ejection port. The barrel itself is actually a press fit into the receiver. So changing barrels on one of these is something to send back to the factory for. You cannot just take it down to your local gun plumber, screw the barrel off and stick a new one on, headspace, etc. These have to be the action heated up in order to get the barrel out. However, the barrel itself is, as can often be denoted by these trademark spiraled marks in Steyr barrels, hammer forged. So the chances of you actually wearing this thing out, it's going to take you a while. I'm not going to put a figure on that because some of you shoot some pretty nuclear loads. So this being the P2K variant, has a 20-inch barrel. The issued variants had, I believe, a 24 with iron sights. This is missing these features. It also has the obligatory modern Picatinny rail. The original type were a proprietary type mount for the scope itself. The other aspect of the SSG69 that makes it unique is its prestigious use of polymer. Austrians, as happened in subsequent history after this point, have a particular love of polymer. From the STG-77 through to the pistol that I will not mention the name of. So, as can be seen here, stock is of a polymer type. It sounds cheaper and less durable than what it actually is. However, from all reports, they stand up in service quite well. There are issues with the trigger guard, which is also plastic, with people cranking on the action screws a little too tight and ending up cracking along this screw hole here. On this, a later model, this has been reinforced significantly. There is an aftermarket option, I believe, out of Europe, which allows you to fit an Accuracy International detachable magazine and a steel trigger guard. Anyone familiar with full bore target shooting will be familiar with this, the Anschutz type accessory rail, which allows you to mount a sliding type sling or a dovetail mounted bipod. I have the adapter on order for that. That's another rather expensive aspect. You can't just slap on a QD mount. However, instead to mount your sling, they provide you this lovely twisty sling swivel here, which goes through a full 360 degrees. However, on the opposite side of the stock is the side mount. So it's obviously designed to carry it flat across. Rather handy when this rifle would spend most of its time being moved as opposed to actually patrolled with. While we're back on the stock itself, just some nice spaces there which can be added or subtracted as required. Butt pad, got a little bit of rubber to it, not really going to reduce that much recoil. So, kitting this thing out, I fitted out with a Steyr optic. I'm a huge fan of Steyr optics, value for money. I believe they are probably one of the best out there in terms of optics quality and clarity. I love the T5XI series. This is the 3 of 15. I also have a 24 power version that is on my PRS rifle. Whereas I love it, comes with all the things you actually want, like the Gucci flip up scope covers, throw lever, and illuminated reticle. This one is in MRAD, and a very unique turret system. Turret system on the T5XI is designed for competition. However, at a glance, you can tell exactly where you are set. Because as you rotate or dial in your dope, the numbers go around as per any other scope until you go past a full revolution, where the numbers all of a sudden flick around. So there's no more having to remember whether you're once or twice around the dial, whether you're on the yellow numbers or the white numbers, whatever your turret system might be. I'm a very simple person, thus I like to just look at my scope and know exactly where my dope is set. Rings, also gone for the Steyr. It is a 34mm tube. As a result, I use the Steyr proprietary rings. They're a good quality set, have the nice spirit level on the top, and they have not let me down as yet. Last item I have here is the match saver, obviously positioned so that a round can be, on the event of an empty magazine at the wrong time of your engagement, pull around, feed to the chamber, and close. Being a push feed action, you don't have to worry about snapping that extractor over the rim of a case. Ergonomically, the rifle itself is quite light, however the optic adds quite a bit of weight as itself. Everything is low and straight, thus I prefer a nice low optic mount that's set, which allows you to make great use of that 60-degree bolt throw. It's a little bit notchy, as the gun is brand new. I have not even grouped this thing. Accuracy wise, it was accepted into service as a sniping rifle. As a result, if you're not doing MOA or slightly better with these, you should probably look at yourself or the ammunition type pretty closely. So, there we have it, my SSG 69. Hope you have enjoyed this. We will bring together a few more of the interesting rifles in my collection, as well as Dylan's as well, and anything else we can get our hands on. Please like and subscribe, and we will keep the good content coming towards you.